Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a really powerful story from the Old Testament, specifically from 1 Chronicles, chapters 13 and 14. It's a story about good intentions, the holiness of God and what it truly means to follow His ways, not just our own. So, King David has finally united all of Israel. His heart is set on a noble goal, bringing the Ark of the Covenant, the very symbol of God's presence, back to Jerusalem. It had been neglected for years, sitting in a man's house. David thinks this isn't right. The Ark belongs with God's people, at the center of our worship. Everyone agrees. It sounds like a fantastic plan, right? David gathers 30,000 of Israel's best men. They put the Ark on a brand new cart, and a massive celebration breaks out. There's music, singing, dancing. It's a nationwide party. But then, tragedy strikes. As they travel, the oxen pulling the cart stumble, and the Ark starts to slip. A man named Uzzah, who was walking alongside, instinctively reaches out his hand to steady it. The moment he touches the Ark, he dies. Instantly, the celebration grinds to a halt. Imagine the shock, the confusion. David is devastated, but he's also angry and afraid of God. He asks, "How can I ever bring the Ark of God home to me?" He abandons the whole project and leaves the Ark at the house of a man named Obed-Edom. This is a tough moment to read. Uzzah had good intentions. He was trying to protect something sacred. So why such a harsh consequence? Well, God had given very specific instructions in the book of Numbers about how the Ark was to be handled. It was only to be carried by the Levites, using poles inserted through rings on its sides. No one was ever to touch it directly. David, in his enthusiasm, had overlooked God's specific command and instead copied the method the Philistines, a pagan nation, had used. He followed a human model of what seems best instead of God's holy instructions. This story isn't about God being cruel. It's about His holiness. He is so pure, so other, that we can't approach Him on our own terms, even with the best intentions. We must approach Him on His terms. So the Ark stays at Obed-Edom's house for 3 months. And something amazing happens. The Bible says the Lord blessed Obed-Edom and his entire household. Blessings just poured out on them because the presence of God was with them. Word gets back to David. He hears about all the good things happening to Obed-Edom, and it sparks a realization. David understands that God's presence isn't meant to bring fear and death, but life and blessing as long as it's honored correctly. This brings us to chapter 14. While the Ark is at Obed-Edom's house, David's kingdom is flourishing. The king of Tyre sends in cedar logs, stonemasons, and carpenters to build a magnificent palace. David has more children, and his influence grows. The Bible says, "And David knew that the Lord had established him as king over Israel, and that his kingdom was highly exalted." In this time of waiting and reflection, David's confidence in God's plan for him is solidified. But then the Philistines hear about David being king over all Israel, and they come up to attack. Twice the Philistines attack, and twice David does something crucial. Before rushing into battle, he stops and asks God, "Should I go up against the Philistines? Will you deliver them into my hand?" Both times, God gives him a clear yes and a specific strategy. The first time, God says to attack directly. David obeys and wins a decisive victory. He names the place Baal-Perazim, which means the Lord has broken through, acknowledging that it was God, not his own strength, that won the day. The second time the Philistines attack, David inquires of God again. This time God gives a different strategy. He says, "Don't go straight up. Circle around behind them and attack when you hear the sound of marching in the tops of the balsam trees." It's a very specific, almost strange instruction, but David doesn't question it. He listens, he obeys, and he wins again, routing the Philistines completely. His fame spreads throughout all the lands. So what's the big takeaway from these 2 chapters? We see a beautiful transformation in David. He starts with good intentions but relies on his own methods, leading to disaster. After that painful lesson, he learns the importance of inquiring of the Lord in everything. He moves from, "This seems like a good idea," to, "God, what is your idea?" He learns that true success and blessing come not just from having a good heart, but from obediently following God's specific instructions. It's a powerful reminder for us to always seek God's way, not just what seems right in our own eyes. Thanks so much for joining me today. I hope this story encouraged you as much as it does me. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this. See you next time.